Hey everyone, how you doing? Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you 15 lessons that I've learned at the age of 15. Now, I'm not sure if some of these are like actual life lessons, some others are like tips and advice, but these are just all things that I think have made me into a better person that I have learned at 15 years old. Also, excuse me if there's background noise, it's just that my brother's watching TV downstairs. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so lesson number one, you are going to be judged. Everywhere you go, people will always have an opinion on you, and you need to learn to accept the fact that that opinion may not be a positive one. But there's absolutely no reason why you should try to change who you are to change that opinion. Because if you do, then other people are going to dislike you and so on so. So the best thing you can do is accept it and be yourself. So as long as you're yourself, you will just attract the people that are right for you. Lesson number two, get to know yourself. Like, get to know who you actually are. And I'm not just talking about like, oh, this is my name and I live here and I like to eat dried fruit and I don't like mushrooms. I'm actually talking about like getting a piece of pen and paper and writing down things you like, things you dislike, facts you know about yourself, things about your personality, things about your physical appearance, just everything about you, and get to know yourself and ask yourself those really deep questions like, what makes me uncomfortable? What inspires me? And make sure when you're doing this, like, try to not use Pinterest or like a friend's opinion. Be really like honest with yourself about who you are and write about who you are right now, not who you want to be. So once you know who you are, you can actually identify the things that you don't like about yourself and write about who you want to be. And knowing who you are, it's so important, and it's going to make your life so much easier in so many ways. Like, it makes setting goals easier, setting routines, making decisions, everything. It just makes it easier. And there's just something so comforting about knowing yourself, and it's just so much easier to like yourself. Like, wow, I really got to know myself. So getting to know yourself is definitely something very important that I think everybody should do. Lesson number three is to document your life. Do it, guys. Film the vlogs, write your journal, whatever it is, like, take the pictures, document your life and document your days, even if they may not seem like anything special, or if it's a bad day, just document that, write about it, film it. You don't need a camera, you can just start with your phone. Document your life. Not only is it like very fun and entertaining to look back, it also gives you a reference to see how far you've come and how much progress you've made. Lesson number four, learn to keep quiet. Sometimes you need to learn to keep your mouth shut for your own good and for other people's good. Listen, other people don't need to know your plans. They don't need to know your projects. The only person who needs to know that is yourself. So be really mindful about the information that you're sharing and who you're sharing it with. Oversharing is a problem that I personally struggle with a lot, and something that helps me is to focus on being interested rather than being interesting. And that's just something that really helps me. Never share your plans, never share your projects, and unless it's somebody that's involved, there's no need for them to know that. Lesson number five, turn jealousy into inspiration. Jealousy, as a 15-year-old girl, is something that I've definitely experienced. I've experienced being jealous of other girls' appearance or other person's wealth and lifestyle. And recently, I met a girl, and this girl is just so amazing. Like, she goes to the gym every single day, and she's so disciplined and so organized. And at first I was jealous of her. I don't know why. I caught myself being jealous about her. And then I started, that jealousy turned into admiration, and that admiration turned into inspiration to be more like her. And actually, I'm friends with that girl now, and I'm just so grateful to have her as an inspiration to become better myself. So turning jealousy into inspiration is something that you can do every single day, and it actually helps you become better instead of being a bad person. Turn that jealousy into motivation, and motivation into action, so you can actually become like the person you are jealous of. Lesson number 6. Your environment is extremely influential in yourself. Who you're with, what you're surrounded with, the music you're listening to, your surroundings have a huge impact on you, your actions, your mood, your feelings, everything. Your environment is super important. Such small environment changes, like listening to instrumental music instead of trap, can really change your mood and make you feel at peace. Your environment is not only your physical environment, there's also like the people you're with. The people you surround yourself with are going to shape you into the person you are. And this is just basic laws of life. Like, imagine yourself being a person that consists of all the persons you're surrounded with. So make sure you're surrounding yourself with people who actually have the goals you have, or people who inspire you, because your environment is really important. I've been reading Atomic Habits, and it talks about the importance of your environment. And they talk about how if you want to play more guitar, then you should play your guitar in the middle of your room, then you'll pick up and play it. If you surround yourself with books, then you're way more likely to read. So what you surround yourself with is what you will become. Lesson number 7. You are allowed to say no. Nobody can ever force you to say yes to anything. Like, you are actually allowed to say no and to reject things that you don't want to do. For example, let's say that there's this person in your class who always comes and asks you for the work. And you're always saying yes, yes, yes. And one day you don't have the work. Then say no. And there's no reason why you should be ashamed of saying no if you don't want to do the work. And if somebody asks you to do something you don't want to do, you don't have to say yes. This is something we usually catch ourselves doing to like be liked. And if that person is making you do something you don't want to do, then that person is just not meant to be in your life. If they react in a negative way to you saying no, then they're just not worth it. You're allowed to set your boundaries. You're allowed to say no whenever you want. There's no reason why you should feel obliged to say yes to anything, to anyone, for whatever reason. You can say no. Life lesson number 8. Always be kind. Always be kind to you. Always be kind to others. Kindness is just so important and such a healthy thing to do, honestly. Being kind is such an amazing thing to do. You never know what other people are going through, and something as simple as being kind, a smile, a compliment can completely change their mood, their day, even their lives. You never know. Simple acts of kindness to the people we care about, or even to people we don't know, really make us feel like better person, and they make other people feel good as well. Being kind to yourself is such an important thing, especially at a young age. It's super important that we are kind to ourselves. Positive talk always. Treating yourself as someone you love is super important. So just kindness overall is healthy, feels good, and it's good to others. Lesson number 9. Learn to be silly. Learn to play around, mess around, joke around. Like, not everything has to be so serious. You actually have the capacity to be silly, and it's such an important thing for us, for our inner child, and for our friends and people that surround us. Being silly is just such an amazing way to break tension, to loosen up, and to just like unwind. And I think my generation has forgotten how to be children. We have forgotten how to be kids. And I think it's so important that we get our daily dose of play. What happened to cartwheeling and handstands and climbing trees and going on the monkey bars and the swings? All of those things are actually really fun things that I enjoy doing, and I had stopped doing them because, you become a teenager and everything's so serious. But no, learning to be silly is really something that has gotten me so many wonderful experiences, and also so many wonderful friends who I can be silly with. It's just a fun way of like de-stressing myself, and just being silly just feels good sometimes. Lesson number 10. Stop being a hater. Stop hating people and hating stuff that other people do. Stop hating on people for accomplishing stuff and for what they wear and for what they eat and for what they look like. Like, stop hating. It's not cool. Before you start hating on someone, why would you be spending your time hating on somebody else? Use that time to better yourself. Learn to praise other people as well. If you want to be praised, then why shouldn't you praise others? So stop hating on yourself. You need to stop hating on yourself. Negative self-talk has such a big impact on ourselves and what we think of ourselves. So choose positive self-talk always. And talk nice to yourself. And talk nice to others and about others. Just be nice. Lesson number 11. Never stop educating yourself. Being educated and becoming a valuable person is so important for your future, your career, and yourself. There's just something so refreshing about being educated and actually knowing stuff. Education will never be a waste of time. Scrolling on TikTok is a waste of time. Scrolling on social media is a waste of time. Teach yourself stuff. Teach yourself how to write in cursive. Teach yourself another language. Teach yourself about ancient Greek history. Whatever it is that you're interested in, just never stop educating and teaching yourself, because that knowledge will compound and it will make you so valuable to yourself, to other people, to companies. It just makes you a more valuable human being. Lesson number 12. Look up more often. Look out the window. Look at the sky. Look at the clouds. Learn to admire nature. Smell flowers. Contemplate the views, the sights, the ocean, the mountains. There's just something so beautiful and peaceful about nature that just fills me up with happiness every time I look up at the sky. We live in such an amazing world, and something about learning to admire that brings me so much joy, honestly, in my day-to-day life. Like, every single day before I get into the car, before going to school, I look up, I breathe, and I thank God for the amazing sky and the amazing view, and that instantly betters my mood and makes me feel joyful. We live in such an amazing world, and sometimes we don't even realize this. Take the time to actually look around and appreciate nature. Lesson number 13. You will be rejected. You will be disliked. You need to learn to be okay with being disliked and being rejected. Some people are going to dislike you. Some people are going to not like you. And that's okay. Just continue being you, and you will attract the right people who actually are going to have a mutual relationship with you. Rejection is something really hard to cope with if you're not used to it. And it's very important that we learn how to deal with it in a proper way so that we don't hurt others, and more importantly, so that we don't hurt ourselves. Being rejected by somebody, whether that is a loved one, a teacher, whatever, being rejected is just a really bitter feeling, and sometimes can lead to self-doubt, low self-esteem. There's just so many things that can go wrong when we get rejected. And it's very important that we keep up the positive self-talk and we forgive others. Sometimes we blame others for being rejected, and it's not their fault. It's not their fault they didn't like our work. It's not their fault they rejected us. They were just setting boundaries. They were using their right to say no, and that's okay. And we don't have to blame them for rejection, and we don't have to blame ourselves for being rejected. So being rejected is something you're going to have to deal with at some point in your life, and it's very important that you try to deal with it the best way possible so that you don't damage yourself and that you don't damage others. Confidence is key. Now, this sounds very cliche, and I know that this phrase is said all around the world all the time, but it's so true. You need to fake confidence until you make it. Being confident in yourself gives you so much power over any situation, over any person. It just gives you an advantage. Being confident is an advantage. It's so important that you learn how to be confident. If you're not a confident person, work on yourself. Exercise your confidence. Stand up straight, sit up straight, talk to people, be outgoing, smile a lot, laugh. Being confident is so attractive and so important, and it's just gonna make you feel and look so much better. Last but not least, we have lesson number 15, which is mind your business. This is so important. There's absolutely no reason why you should be wasting your time, your energy into minding somebody else's business. There's no reason why you should be over there when where you should be is over here working on your business. Stop comparing yourself. Stop caring about other people's business. It's not your cup of tea. It's not your place to be. Minding your own business is going to allow you to have peace and to be locked in yourself, your work, and better yourself. Because there's nobody else, there's no other reason why you should be on other people's business, sniffing around and looking what they're doing and sharing it with other people. Like, no, mind your business, girl. Stay over here working on you. Other people will come. There's no reason why you should be sniffing around other people's business. Mind your business, for real. So that was everything for today. Thank you so much for sticking around if you did. I truly hope that you have learned something, that this video has taught you something as it taught me a lot of things. And I'll see you guys the next time. Bye.